is sponsoring a 2023 Bahamas cruise open to all educators. Guests such as spouses, family, and friends are also welcome to attend. There is an amazing lineup of speakers, and you can book your PD at sea now by putting down a $200 deposit. Attend the Sail Away Party Thursday, July 6th in Port Canaveral at 6 p.m. in preparation for Cruising Friday. You will return Monday, July 10th at 8 a.m. Scan the QR code now to sign up. You don't want to miss it.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 27 of the TeacherGoals podcast. This is your host, Erica Terry. Super. I don't even know if excited is the right word about tonight's episode. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. We're talking about such a heavy topic, one that is so close to my heart. That I felt a little apprehension about today. Anyone that knows me knows my story. Last year, my husband was this time last year, he was fighting stage 4 cancer, lymphoma, and, praise God that he was healed. And so walking into this conversation tonight, those feelings from last year came back up. I was thinking about, where I was last year in comparison to this year. So definitely grateful, feeling blessed, but still understanding how difficult it can be to have to fight cancer and even to support your loved one who is going through and facing this. And so I am excited to bring on our guest tonight, Lisa Dunnigan you may know her from Teach Her Heart Out. We've been talking about the cruise for weeks. You may know her from the Right Stuff Chicks, but tonight we are talking about her foundation, the Pink Santa Hat Movement, which is all about supporting educators that are battling breast cancer. But before I bring her on, I love to find out who we have hanging with us. And so if you haven't already done so, go ahead and put it in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you're from, what your role in education is, so that I can shout you out. We love to know who's hanging with us. And while you're doing that, while you're putting that in the chat, if this is your first time hanging out with us here at the TeacherGoals podcast, welcome. We are excited that you are here. And so I'm going to tell you how it goes. I am going to bring Lisa up. We're going to have a great conversation, give you some practical tips and strategies that you can apply specifically when supporting other educators that may be battling breast cancer. As we are talking, if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat, because at the very end, she is going to stay on and we're going to be answering all of the questions that you have. So definitely feel free to put your questions in the chat and we will get them answered. And so without further ado, thank you for everyone that is giving me well wishes. Yes, thank you. God is good. Definitely healed my husband. And, just want to say hello to a couple of people. We have Sonia from the Teacher's Resource. Welcome. We have Bella from Children's Library from Brooklyn. Welcome. And we have so many others. We have Candy, who teaches preschool in Oklahoma. And so thank you all for joining us tonight. We have such a heavy conversation that we're about to just jump right into it. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Lisa Dunnigan.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I am good. We are so excited to have you here tonight. And so, like I shared earlier, if we've been to the Teacher Heart Out conference, or wore one of the cute shirts from the Right Stuff Chicks, we may recognize you, know you. But tonight we are going to be definitely talking about your journey as an education, but spending the majority of our time talking about your foundation, the Pink Santa Hat movement. But before we get there, let's kind of just talk about your journey in education. I know that you went from teaching through to administration, and along that journey, what made you say, I am going to create everything teachers need: professional development, swag, and then we'll definitely get into the foundation. But before that, conferences, swag, professional development, like you do it all. So kind of share your story with us.
Okay, so I'm so happy to be here. And I actually retired in 2020 after 29 years, but I had 1 year of sick leave. So for those of you who are, I know everyone needs a break, but those sick days do add up. And so I actually was able to retire an entire year early because I had enough sick days. I hardly ever took off. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a workaholic. So but in my 30 years of being in education, one thing that I had to do a lot is attend different conferences. So in doing that, I knew that like some were good, of course, some were boring, some, you wanted to like pull your hair out. So I'm like, you know what? That's one thing that I know I had on my bucket list, is that I wanted to one day have teacher conferences that were full of content, rich in content, research based strategies that teachers can implement right away, but also the element of being able to have a little fun as
Yes.
well. Because nowadays, teachers need like a release. They need to be able to build their communities together. And so when you come to a Teacher Heart Out conference, you're able to actually do just that. And now that we have the cruises, it's like, you learn a lot, but you also have a lot of fun as well. And so that was something that we wanted to offer. And now that we're going to the Bahamas, and we'll actually be able to visit a school in the Bahamas. And that we did that last time, and that experience was just amazing. We actually took them school supplies, and we were able to the teachers from America were able to actually interact with the teachers from the Bahamas and talk about likenesses and differences. And the kids sang to us, and it was just a wonderful experience. And we hope to experience that again. But that's mainly why we started Teacher Heart Out, is because we wanted to offer research-based, practical strategies to teachers. And we feel like a huge responsibility, because our kids really deserve the best. They really do.
Yes, and definitely all of us, anyone that's been in education, you got any skin in the game, we can all relate to those
Absolutely.
times where we sat through professional development and was just looking at our watch the whole
Yeah,
time, right?
exactly.
So yes,
Exactly.
I can completely understand you. Like, you know what, this is on my bucket list. I am
Absolutely.
going to change this for educators if I
Absolutely.
don't do anything else. So we thank you for that.
Oh,
I
you're
thank you
welcome.
for that. And so we are super excited here about the cruise going on next summer, July
Mhm.
2023. And since I have you, I'm like, let me see if I can get her to give us any insight, any
Yeah,
insider secrets. Like, okay,
we
we're gonna visit a school. What
we are
else
gonna
can
visit a
people
school, but
expect?
The beautiful part is that July 6th, because the cruise is actually Friday to Monday. And so we wanted everyone to be able to enjoy like the stops that we're making in Coco Cay and the Bahamas. And so what we decided to do is to offer a full day of PD on July 6th. And that will give everyone 7.5 hours going into the cruise. And then we'll get the other 7.5 hours on the ship. So that actually will be a change from last time, because when we went to the Bahamas last time, we actually just on the day we were in Coco Cay, that was the day that we offered the PD. And so people were like, bummed that they didn't get to see Coco Cay. And they actually have remodeled Coco Cay, from what I understand. Okay. And it is something that you don't want to miss. And so we were like, well, we don't want them to miss that. We don't want to miss that.
Right.
And so that's why we added the July 6th date to the lineup. And our keynotes, I can't say who they are just yet, but you better know that you don't want to miss it, because it will be like when I told one of the presenters, we have this person, and she was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to talk. I'm not going to be able to talk. I've always, like, this person is somebody she's followed forever. She's gotten inspiration from, and she is like, he changed my life. So we're really excited to be able to announce who that person is very soon. We just have to get the contract signed and all of that. But we're very excited to be able to offer a stellar lineup for this summer off the cruise on July 6th. And also, if you are not planning, because some people are still not feeling comfortable coming on the cruise, if you want to just sign up for that one day of July 6th, yes, we do have a one-day option of just coming to that one day Teach Your Heart Out, and you wouldn't have to come on the cruise.
Well, I will be on that cruise like super. I have not cruised since the pandemic, so I am super excited about it. Super excited, and cannot wait to hear who these surprise guests are going to be. But I'm excited, and so I will definitely be passing on the information to you guys once I get it. And so, yes, I hope that you can join us at the cruise. But tonight we are talking about a whole nother topic, right? Because of course, all of us educators, we love education. We try to equip you with tools and strategies, but sometimes real life happens. Absolutely. And when it happens, we have to deal with it. And real life, you have created a foundation that supports educators who are battling breast cancer. So if you feel, comfortable, can you kind of share your origin story? Like, we know you started your reasoning for starting the conferences and selling the gear, but what happened that made you say, you know what, I also need to create an organization that specifically supports educators that are battling breast cancer?
Sure. In 2018, or actually in 2015, my daughter Elise, I actually have or had twin daughters, Tasha and Elise. And when Elise, in 2015, she actually was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. And so in 2015, when it happened, like, she immediately had to start oral chemo. They started her out with oral chemo rather than the full-blown, intravenous chemo. And like, for the first year, it worked beautifully. After, year 1, she was, thriving. And then all of a sudden, it just, like, we would go to the doctor, and they were like, your levels aren't good enough. Your levels aren't good enough. Like, we did that for like 3 weeks in a row. And then her doctor finally said, listen, you're going to have to get on the hard chemo. And so when that happened, it just went down. It went downhill from that. And, she had ebbs and flows during the time she was ill. But when she was a teenager, she actually they found like a fatty deposit in one of her breasts. And so, when she found another lump, she was like, oh, I'm sure it's just a fat. We all thought that. We were like, it's just that fatty deposit. They'll get in there, they'll get it out. And then when it wasn't, it was, oh my gosh, it was devastating. Just devastating. Because she also has twins, Jackson and Harper. They actually just turned 10. And just knowing that she wasn't going to be able to see them grow up. It was hard. it was very difficult. And so and I'm sorry, I was like, all day long, I've been like trying to give myself a pep talk about,
Right.
this is hard, but you can do it, Lisa.
Mhm.
Um, but knowing that she wasn't going to be able to see them grow up was just difficult. It was
Mhm.
absolutely difficult. And Elise was such a planner. She was such a light to the world. Like her whole time she was sick, she would always get on Facebook. She would sing. She would encourage people. When we had her funeral, we had like over like 750 people there,
Mhm.
because and like even my old students that I had been a principal, where I had been a principal at Eastside Elementary School, many of my students even came to the funeral, because she had somehow touched their lives. And
Mhm.
so her life was not in vain. Like she, was always adamant that she didn't know what God had planned for her, but whatever it was, she was there to do it. And so,
Yes.
and when you think about, gosh, losing a child, it's like not the natural order of things. It's like, I'm supposed to be the one sick, not you. And so
Right.
that was very difficult as well. But in spite of that, in 2017, because she was always wanting to help people, she's like, let's do something for educators. Like, she was actually an after school director at the time, and our entire family are educators. Her husband, Casey Bethel, he was a 2017 Teacher of the Year for the state of Georgia.
Okay.
And so during her time of being sick, he was gone a lot. So we all had to pitch in and help. And so we were like, let's figure out something that we can do for educators who are going through this, because it's not just that person who's sick going through it, it's the whole, and I'm sure Erica, the
Mhm.
whole family. Like we had to, like, our lives had to be changed and molded to accommodate her illness. So we had to, be there, pitch in. And Tasha, her twin sister at the time, she actually lived in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. And so that
Mhm.
was a whole like, oh Lord. So she couldn't be here. Well, she ended up in 2017 or 2018, when Elise passed away. Right before she passed away, she actually moved back to Georgia. So she got to spend the last days with Elise. So that was just a wonderful thing.
Mhm.
'Cause, they're twins, so they were very
Right.
close.
Right.
So it's difficult, but when you think about it, but our thing with creating the Pink Santa Hat movement is that we wanted to bring some light to the person. We know,
Mhm.
going for their chemo treatments is hard. And so we were like, you know what, we can do something. Where the very first year we did it, we just sent, like, we did nominations and we sent them like this gigantic box of things for Christmas. And then we were like, you know what, it would be great if we could bring a small group of women together who have this, who are all battling, and we can have, like, get them a massage or a facial, take them shopping, get them a beautiful, get them made up, and
Mhm.
then have a photo shoot so that they have something, special. And
Mhm.
then that night we would have like what we do is we have like an inspirational night. Like the last time we were able to have it before COVID, Dr. Jackie from Married to Medicine was our speaker, and it was just a wonderful thing seeing those women come together, talk about their medication, their treatments, and many of them like still are in Facebook groups. They still keep in touch with each other. So that is something that we're just trying to grow and know that we want to just be an inspiration to people who are going through cancer, because it absolutely sucks, honestly.
Yes, it does. And we are, first of all, thank you for having the courage to share
You're
your story. We appreciate
welcome.
that. And your daughter definitely is a light in the world,
Yeah,
still, making
yeah,
contributions and,
absolutely.
touching people's lives. And so we just appreciate you all. And, we
Yeah.
are definitely going to get more into how to support the foundation. But before we do that, let's talk some strategies, that we can share, and how us as an education community can come
Hmm.
together and support other educators that are
Hmm.
battling breast cancer. So, we find out someone in the building or in our district has been diagnosed with cancer. Do you have any
Hmm.
tips or strategies,
Yeah.
tools that we can share that people can use to support others?
What I would say is make sure that you are like helping them out. Like, keep in mind when you have cancer, like your immune system is on zero. So you really don't need to be around a whole lot of germs, but it's a school. So of course you're going to be around germs. So
Right.
just maybe having like maybe a teacher on the team could talk to the kids about what's going on, and they could like help, sanitize the room. That's important.
Mhm.
Anything that you can do to help that person, like maybe, you know what, you go to them and you say, let me make your copies this week, or let me
Mm.
help you with anything, just helping them out because their energy levels are low. Like when you're on
Mhm.
chemo, it is difficult. Like it's difficult sometimes to even get out of bed. I'll never forget one day I went on a Saturday. I went to Lisa Casey's house, and Casey actually was at a speaking engagement, and I walked in, and Harper, she was like, I'm babysitting Jackson. Now she and Jackson are the same age. And
And
she's
at that time, they were probably
they
pretty
were,
young.
yeah, they
Yes.
were like, I think they were 6. And
Okay.
so she's like, yeah, I'm babysitting Jackson today, Mimi. And because my mommy is very, very tired. And so at that time, I was like, you know what? I need to get myself over here every time Casey's gone. Because number one, Harper doesn't need to be trying to tell Jackson what to do. And then she's like, well, we really want a snack, but it's up to you if we get one. I was like, of course you can have a snack. But that was just one thing, just knowing, don't make them ask you to do stuff, guys. Just
Mhm.
do it. Like you put yourself in that person's shoes. Like if it were you, what would you want? And then do that for that person. That
Mhm.
I think that would be the biggest thing. And then just give them as much grace as you can give them, because they are really going through a very difficult time. I mean, when you're going through that, of course you want to like have your house in order, so to speak. So that in itself is like another big job. But anything that
Mhm.
you can do to help that person, to help to pitch in with some task that they would have to do, especially, and if I were their principal, I wouldn't make them do any kind of duties or anything, because they
Right.
really need to preserve their strength, and it is a time for the staff to rally behind them, is what I would
Ye
say.
Yes, I love those strategies, and
Yeah.
really, I love the grace. That is the
Yeah.
word that is definitely the one, because just, not only the physical tiredness, but the mental anguish,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it's
saying? Like
horrible.
it's so much.
Yeah.
And then when you have that element of young children,
Mhm.
just really doing anything you could think of,
Exactly.
um even a DoorDash gift card, like just
Absolutely.
anything
Anything, anything.
to
Right.
take, something off of their plate. And we don't really talk
Absolutely.
about that in
We don't.
education, but
Mhm.
definitely when, you're supporting people, and even if it's not the actual person, their caretaker,
Mhm. Mhm.
this same grace needs to be extended, because
Absolutely.
it's hard on the whole family.
Absolutely.
Yes, and so thank you so much for
You're
those
welcome.
strategies. And so um when we think about like supporting other educators who are, battling cancer,
Mhm.
battling breast cancer, one of the things that we want to make sure is that, it's having an impact not only on the
Mhm.
person, but,
Mhm.
on the school as well. I love that you incorporated students into
Mhm.
like the strategies that
Mhm.
you shared. And so when
Mhm.
someone is supporting another educator through breast cancer, any words of wisdom, any, final like actions that they can take so that we can make sure that we're supporting,
Mhm.
the whole
Right. So
everyone.
on our website, you can actually, if someone has been diagnosed with breast cancer, you can nominate them, and we will send them a Pink Santa Hat care package. And
Yeah.
then every June, we actually open up the nominations for them to be able to come for our Pink Santa Hat Gala weekend.
Mhm.
And that will happen around June of each year. But anytime someone is diagnosed with breast cancer, you can go
Mhm.
on our website and complete the form, and we'll send the person like a care package. And it's just something to like cheer them up in a pink
Yeah.
box, a t-shirt, gift card for gas, different things, different little trinkets that we hope will, socks, for when they're going for chemo. It's things that we know that Elise actually loved and used, and so we think about that when we're creating the care packages.
Yes, and so you can, get to that nomination form at pinksantahat.com.
Mhm.
We know October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so I know you all have several activities going on this month. Can you share with us as a Teacher Goals community, like what can we do to support you all?
Well, we're right in the middle of our Pink Santa Hat fundraiser. We're doing like a Pink Santa Hat. Oh, you have your bank right there.
I do.
Yeah, and so you actually can order a bank on our website, and also on the 25th. That is the day that we are making Teacher Heart Out Pink Out Day, and so we hope that schools will dress up in pink, have an activity that honors or recognizes someone who's battling breast cancer, and then that's also the day that we will celebrate those who have gone on for breast cancer. So that's one thing that our Teacher Heart Out community, we just started that this year, and so the Pink Out Day, we will be like taking ambassadors for the Pink Out Day. And we hope to actually grow that into something really big. In March, we're going to have a Pink Santa Hat 5K. We'll be having that in Douglasville, Georgia. But next year, we're also going to take it on the road. So we'll be going to Orlando. And we also hope to go to Oregon in 2023 as well. So we'll be taking the 5K on the road as well. But we always need donations, of course, because like I said, we do send out care packages whenever needed. It doesn't, like, we don't cap it off or anything. We send it to whomever fills out a form. And then our big event in December is when we are able to shower the women with lots of love, inspiration, encouragement. And like I said, they get to go on a shopping spree. They get their face made up. They get a photo shoot. And we have Ross Knight as our photographer. He's actually been with us since we started this, and he is very, very talented with taking the pictures, and that's an experience in itself, because the way he does it, talking to the women, it's just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal event. The gala is so much fun.
Well, yes, I am planning to be there this year. I am collecting my coins. We have put the Pink Santa Hat Bank fundraiser link on Facebook, so you definitely can, use this link or click on it and order your bank, guys. I have just started doing things like, as I'm cleaning all of that random change I'm picking up around the house, I'm putting it in there, and definitely planning to make a donation at the end of the month. So thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
We thank you for coming on and sharing your story. We definitely, in the next season, need to bring you back on to get more into some of the education stuff. But, tonight was very close to my heart. And I just thank you for joining us and having this conversation. And so people that may be, encountering you for the first time is like, I want to learn more. Where can they find you?
They can actually find me on the Right Stuff Chicks page, Teacher Heart Out page. I also have Lisa Dunnigan, at Lisa Dunnigan on Instagram or Facebook, and also TikTok. I'm on TikTok as well.
All right, TikTok. And so you have a special offer for our Teacher Goals community. Right. Share that with us.
So if you listen to this podcast or hear it tomorrow or whatever, you can actually get 20% off, and you're going to use the code TeacherGoals, and no space, just TeacherGoals altogether. 20% off your purchase.
Yes, at the rightstuffchicks.com.
Correct.
20% off with the code TeacherGoals. So yes, we are excited to share that with our community. Thank you so much. We are going to be hanging out with you at conferences this year, hanging out with you on the cruise. So thank you so much for joining us. And I cannot wait to, get to meet you face to face.
I look forward to it also.
Thank you. All right. So, anyone that has a question, now is the time to put it in there, put it in the chat. Any questions that you may have, and I'm kind of combing through right now to make sure that I have not missed anything. And so I am going to share one more time for those of you that may have been looking for information about the cruise. You can get your secure your spot for just a $200 deposit at teachergoals.com/cruise. And as Lisa shared with us earlier, if you're like, I really am not ready to cruise yet, you can still join us for that day of PD that's happening before we leave for the cruise. So we would love to see you and get to meet you. And we've also put in the chat a PayPal link. And so you can donate. We, as a part of our community, are definitely Teacher Goals. I am donating to the Pink Santa Hat movement this month. So, we have a PayPal link that you can donate on. And also you can go to their website and get your own coin fundraiser and make a donation as well. And so I don't see any questions. Any last thoughts, final thoughts that you want to share with us or with our community before we call it a night?
I guess I would say that, life is short. Number one, we all have an expiration date. So just make sure that you are making the best of every single day, that you're not like spending all day complaining about stuff, especially things that you can't change. Focus on the good, and remember that life is short and you need to live your life to the fullest, and especially love your loved ones. Let them know how much you love them and how much you care for them. That's important.
Yes, and that is some great words of wisdom. I'm gonna have to cut it and bring that back into the podcast. Everyone needs to hear that, even if they're listening. And so we thank you for being here tonight. For those of you that are here with us, we appreciate you. If you have not subscribed, we are on all of the podcast platforms as well. And so if you want to listen to these interviews again or see what you may have missed in the past, then you can find us on Apple, Spotify, Google, all of those platforms, your favorite podcast platform. So subscribe, leave a review, and then check out the rightstuffchicks.com website. Make sure you use the code TeacherGoals for 20% off. And so we thank you all, and you have a great week. Everyone in our community, have a great week, and we will be back next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Thursday. So I will see you there. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.